Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this individual executive member decision. My name is Callum Werner. I'm a Democratic and Electoral Services Specialist. Making the decision today is Councillor Paul Fishwick, who's the executive member for Active Travel, Transport and Highways. Also in the room today, we've got Councillor Lindsay Ferris, who's our executive member for Planning and the Local Plan. And from the officer side of things, we have Rebecca Brooks, who is the Community Transport Manager for Highways and Transport. And with that, I'll hand over to you, Rebecca, just to walk us through the report and the recommendation that you're giving to Paul today.
Thank you, Callum. We understand that the Mayor has out a engagement exercise at the moment on the withdrawal of day travel cards. What this means for our residents is that the day travel card, which is an add-on purchase to a national rail card, will be withdrawn. At the minute, that card allows unlimited daily travel across the Transport for London network, across all zones, and you can use this on overground, underground, Elizabeth, bus, tram, and light documents railways, plus gets up to a third of river services. So what the proposal means for our residents is that you're removing this flexibility. Residents are less likely to be able to make the seamless journey they currently make, because they're going to have to stop off and buy extra tickets unless they're in possession of you won't be able to use the Oyster card all the way from Wokingham. So it's a pay as you go, and it's more than likely that you're going to have to buy 2 sets of paper tickets. The price is obviously going to increase for our residents, and depending on where a resident wants to go and how many times that particular resident will be travelling in London depends on the price. But just to give you an example that we have calculated, going from Wokingham Station to London, it's £26.80, and you could have an additional £9.30 added to your whole journey as a result of the proposal, assuming you're only going to make the journey in zones 1 to 6 on the railway. That would represent a 29% increase. We're also quite concerned about the viability of some of our schemes, because obviously we promote walking, cycling and public transport to our local stations, and where we've been looking at our local walking and cycling plan schemes and our bus service improvement plan schemes, we've accounted for people using them and being attracted to travelling into London, whether that be for employment or leisure activities at the weekend. And if people are less likely to go in because of not being able to make the journeys easily and it being more costly, then that undermines the viability of those schemes that we've identified that we would like to progress. And it's on this basis that we would suggest that we're unable to support the Mayor's suggestion of removing the day travel card, because it particularly impacts on areas outside of London. So that is our recommendation from the officer's perspective.
Thank you, Rebecca, for all the work that you've put into this. It's much appreciated. It's disappointing that the consultation period was run from the 18th of April through to the 23rd of May during an election period, which has impacted on many authorities outside of London. And this is where it's really affecting those residents. It's the residents on the outside of London which are being affected by this. The purchase of multiple tickets is not the way forward. People want seamless journeys. They want to buy one ticket and then go through various journeys within London like they've been used to. This is really a backward step. This will also put additional costs onto people at a time when there's a serious cost of living crisis, and journeys into London will, as you've already highlighted, cost significantly more. And that's just based on just going on to a zone 1 to zone 6. If you want to use any of the other types of journeys on bus and the like, then you're going to have to purchase additional tickets on those as well. The viability of travel to our stations is another issue. If we've got less people likely to go to our stations and then potentially transferring to the car, that puts additional car journeys onto our network and goes against our climate change objectives. Therefore, I cannot support what the Mayor is trying to do here, and I fully agree with the recommendation that's been put forward. And if Lindsay wants to add anything.
Yes, I'm here today because I'm a ward member for Twyford, and Twyford is one of the major stations in Wokingham Borough. I've been able to find out that there are many hundreds of travel cards sold daily and thousands weekly at Twyford, and they will be affecting residents in Wokingham Borough. And it is extremely annoying and upsetting that the Mayor is putting extra charges onto non-London people who travel into London to use the system. I actually think it could end up being counterproductive, because if it just cuts down the number of people travelling into London, then they're going to get 100% of nothing from that person instead of the current travel scheme. I'm very concerned, but I've got a couple of questions, because if somebody is going up to London and one of the benefits of the Elizabeth line is you can go right the way through to Abbey Wood. Can you explain to me what ticket people can get to go to a station on the Elizabeth line, which is still in the TfL area with these changes?
I think I don't know the detail of that. I don't know if you do, Rebecca, but you certainly can't get the Oyster card. That we do know, but I don't know the detail of that.
Because it sounds like if they're going to have multiple tickets, the whole benefit of the Elizabeth line is you stay on the train right the way through. Does it mean somebody has to get off at Paddington?
I think the main changes which are going to impact here is once you've gone off your destination location, it's then travel on tube, bus, and other transport modes which are provided by TfL. So once you've got to Abbey Wood, if you then use a bus or an underground or a Docklands Light Railway, you then have to purchase separate tickets from there. That's where the impact comes in, rather than having a travel card.
Didn't sound like there was any comment about that in the consultation.
But maybe not. But it's a point you've made about the amount of journeys that are made from our local stations to central London, and they are the vast majority from our stations. They go to central London. That's the main area.
Yes,
where they're going to, and the vast majority of those are purchasing travel cards.
So there will be not just 1,000 tickets in a week, because people go up from time to time, and there's the regular people who go. So I can see a considerable percentage of our residents in Wokingham Borough being impacted by these proposals for, I think, very little gain.
They will be. That's the ones which are going to be affected.
So I feel what's happening. So my question is, the Mayor is trying to raise money from people outside of London. Does he have that authority?
He controls the daily travel card, and therefore he's got that authority. And this consultation, we are unable to support these proposals.
I also understand that London people travel all the way out to Reading without, some cases, not having to pay anything. Whereas the boundary, as I understand it, it's West Drayton. West Drayton. So why are they not being charged beyond West Drayton?
That I don't know.
That's why I have a question.
Yeah, that I don't know. But that is separate.
These are the
to this.
These are the sort of consequences. But those are my points and questions. Thank you.
Okay.
So with that, are you happy to?
I am happy to sign
the recommendation
and the response letter.
Yeah,
which
will be submitted today.
This document, which has got to be submitted today, as today is the deadline.
So I will just read out the recommendation for anybody following online. That is set out on agenda page 5. And it is that the Executive Member for Active Travel, Transport and Highways agrees that Woking Borough Council is unable to support the Mayor's proposal to withdraw the day travel card and urges the Mayor to consider the wider impacts of the scheme, especially on areas outside of London, as set out within the letter of representation to the Mayor of London, Annex A to the report. So you're happy to make that decision?
I'm happy to make that decision.
So if we just sign the decision sheet now. So as Paul has mentioned, this will need to be submitted today due to the very short timescales of the consultation. So it will be submitted just with the proviso that it is subject to the standard 5-day call-in period. But subject to that, it will become the council's formal response to the consultation. And with that, I will end the meeting. Very much.
Thank you.